Welcome to another episode of Final Cut Pro Help Live. My name is Jared Young. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're not too hungry this morning because we're going to be working with some donuts. Video here with these little donut clips. And what I want to talk about today is an update to the split screen effect template, which is available at anawesomeguide.com. You can go and purchase this template over there. We just released it a very short time ago, but I've received a lot of positive feedback. So I'm happy that people are enjoying it and being able to use this template to create these types of split screen effects. You can go up to 256 different clips with the effect and different arrangements on there. However, there's many of you that want to create more custom arrangements and some other feedback that I received. So we have an update. It is available now. If you've purchased the previous one, you can get this update for free. Otherwise, go and purchase it. Visit anawesomeguide.com. I'll leave a link in the description as well where you can go and get this. This is my streaming account that we're logged into right now. I have not installed the updated template. So let's go through installing it. When you download the template, you're going to receive a zip file, which is this little file here in my downloads folder. And all you need to do is double click on this zip or archive to unarchive it. And you'll see we get an Final Cut Pro Help folder. Inside this folder is the effect folder called split screen. Inside that split screen is a couple different folders for the effects we're actually going to install. Now, the sample footage that I'm using in this stream with the donuts and all of that, you can actually get that and use it yourself. It's available over at editstock.com. And Editstock has a number of other streaming, a number of other packages you can download with content from all of these various different films. So if you want to edit some stock footage, editstock.com is a great place to go to. They've provided the footage you're going to see in this stream with the donut shop. And I'm very grateful to them. I'll leave a code down in the description as well. You can go and use that on your purchase. But this downloaded template that we have, we need to install this. So I'm going to hit Command N to create a new Finder window. And I've already created a bookmark on the left side here, a favorite for my motion templates folder. There's another video on this channel of how to create these motion templates folders. And this split screen is an effect, so I'll go to the effects folder, and I have one of the older versions already installed. So I already have an Final Cut Pro Help folder, so I don't need to drag this one over. And I also have a split screen folder. So really all I need to do to install this is bring these lower left, lower right, split screen, upper left, and upper right in to replace the one that's there. However, since I only have one effect here, I can actually bring this entire Final Cut Pro Help folder into the effects folder, and it's going to replace that older version there. I can hit replace. Now, just to let you know, all of this stuff, by doing replace there, we just deleted the older versions of the templates. And if you need to get back to those versions, you want to make sure you have a backup of the content that's here. So watch the other videos on this channel to learn how to make a backup. And as far as Final Cut goes, you should quit and then relaunch when you're switching between these templates. I'm going to try it without doing that, just leaving Final Cut. We'll see if we run into any glitches or any issues with it. Cool, so now I have that newer version of the template installed. I'm going to double click on my compound clip here with the split screens to open that up. And you can see here are those 4 different clips that have the split screen effect applied to it. And I'll select one of these donuts, go into the video inspector, and I can see here is the lower right version of this template, the split screen template. And you can see there's a build in, a build out, and then the various sizes. This was the older version. Now we're gonna add the newer version and see what's changed about this. So I'm gonna delete the lower right effect to remove that effect. And I could actually do that on all the rest of these clips here too. All at once. So you can actually select a whole bunch of clips, go up to the edit menu and say remove effects, or you can choose remove attributes to select specific effects you want to remove. But now I've removed it, so it's not applied to any of these clips. You can see if I select them, video inspector is empty. So I'm going to select them all. I'm going to go into my video effects browser here under video at Final Cut Pro Help. And here are my various templates. And I could add lower left, lower right, these various sizes to put them in the corners. Just for this demo, you've seen that in the past ones. I'm just going to double click on split screen to apply the split screen effect to all 4 of these clips. And by default, when you apply this split screen effect, all it does is center the clip and scales it down by 50% there. Now notice over here in my inspector, we have a lot more controls with this updated version. You can even double click up at the top of the inspector, and this will expand the height of the inspector to fill the entire right column of Final Cut. And you can double click at the top there to shrink it back down if you don't like that. But since we have some additional controls and we're going to talk about them, I'll expand that out. Now, starting up, I'll just go through every single control on here to tell you what's new in this update. And if you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments or reach out to us on social media using the @FinalCutProHelp tag. In this version, you can see at the bottom, I have included the version number and our tag there just to make it a little bit easier to verify which version you have installed and are using. So this is version 1.3, and the build in and build outs are the same. You can check these boxes, and what'll happen then at the beginning of the clip will remain at 100%, and then it shrinks down over about a second to whatever position you've selected, and then it'll also scale up at the end. That's the build in and build out check boxes. We then have seen all the sizes, which you saw in the last demo, but this allows you to move where this clip is located. So I can move it top to bottom. I'm gonna click and select these other clips and hit V just to disable them for right now. That way we'll focus on this one donut. So I can change the position, left, right, up, down, and you can also do lower left, lower right to put it into the corner of this half size adjustment. So if I wanted it in the lower right corner, I'll select lower right. If you want to make it even smaller, you can go to a quarter size and then make another adjustment. Each adjustment shrinks it down by half. And when you're making this second adjustment for the quarter size, it's looking in the quadrant you selected before. So in this case, it was lower right, so it's down there in the lower right corner. And if I wanted to shrink it down again and put it up here, this would be the upper left for this quarter size. So here I'll go and select upper left to put it up there. Okay, so that's the size controls there. You can play with those to make various adjustments. In this case, I'm just gonna do a center clip for right now. And now we're gonna get to the new controls. So the first one is X and Y sliders here. This allows you to move this clip left or right, and then Y is your up and down parameters there. So you can make fine adjustments to the clips. This works really well if you have a vertically aligned clip, or maybe a clip that's just not the same format as all your other ones. You wanna make a slight adjustment. You can do it right here in the position X and position Y parameters, as opposed to going down and using the transform parameters that's on any clip. We found this to be a little bit easier to use. All of these, you can hit the little reset button on the right side to reset the parameter back to the default, in this case 0. Same thing as position adjustments, you can now do rotation, which rotates it from the center of this clip. And this was a big problem for some of you, both for rotation and scale, is when you did rotate in the transform controls, it was actually rotating based on the center of the original box. So if we wanted to shrink this down into, say, the right side, and then we want to center it over on the right side and shrink it down here, if you use the standard transform tools for rotation, you can see how it's not rotating it around the center of that clip. And also with scale, when you scale up or down, it's scaling it from the center point, which is right about here, as opposed to the center of our split screened clip there. So that's what you now have in this template, is the ability to rotate from the center of that clip and scale it based on where the clip is located on the screen. So hopefully that'll make things a little bit easier for those adjustments. We then have the ability to add a pretty simple outline. You can check this box to enable it. There's now a little white outline around the edge. You can click on your color well there to change it. So if we wanted to make it a red, green, blue, we can change the various borders there. You can then also change the width of that border. So if it's too small, you can increase or lower that. With most of these controls, if this goes up to 100, if 100 is not big enough, you can click on the 100 number and just click and drag it up or down to change the size above what the slider does. So don't feel like you're limited to what that slider is. You can make the adjustment over on the right side here. Next one we have was a something I thought would be a pretty good addition to this was this label. You could check this box and it's going to add a text label to your clip. So let me zoom in on at the top right here. I'm going to zoom in just into our viewer here so we can see what this clip looks like. And you see there's a little title at the bottom of this clip now. So this allows you to add text to this box without having to add a separate text layer. So for these, I'm just gonna go and make it center, make it a little bit bigger just so it's easier to see. All it says right now is just type text here. So this little text box, you can go in here and put in someone's name or a tag, whatever you're trying to type in here. You can type it in and that's gonna show up at by default at the bottom of this clip. So if you're creating a split screen with a whole bunch of people, I've seen a lot of people creating these kind of virtual choirs and other groups. You can put someone's name at the bottom there pretty easily. You then have your options here to customize that font. This one is a white font, or white text right now, kind of for the color there on top of this white plate and paper towel. It's very hard to see this text here. So you might go down here and change the color so that it stands out a little bit and it's easier to see. We might increase the text size as well so that label's a little bit easier to see. You can change the alignment down here so that it's in the lower left corner on the right side, or you can change the vertical alignment. So if you wanted to put this text right in the center or at the top of the clip, you can do that. And something to point out here is all of these controls I hope I tested it a little bit, and hopefully this works for you. If it doesn't, let me know. Please give me that feedback so I can fix these things. But you should be able now to change your position at any time, and you'll notice the text, the outline around the edge, any of those adjustments that you've made, the text now follows inside that box. It's also set up in a way so that if you do have a lot of text that you start typing in, it'll wrap around to stay in this box. So don't feel like you're having to do a lot of the formatting. It should do it for you as you type things out. And then, those are the text controls there. You can enable or disable a little drop zone or drop shadow around the text in there as well. And those are the new controls that have added to this update. This is version 1.3 of the split screen effect. You can go and get it over at anawesomeguide.com/downloads, or it should be a link down in the description of this video. Let me know what you think. Are there features you want to see added into this split screen? I want to know. This is the best way for us to kind of learn and customize this and get this where you want it to be. So that's that template and the update. Let me go ahead and apply this to a whole bunch of clips. So I'm going to reset this split screen effect. I'm going to delete it and just double click on it in my effects browser to reapply it. And we're just going to make the 4-way split screen that we saw at the beginning of this. So I'm going to take this one and put it up at the upper left, put up the upper left corner. I can do the same thing with this second one, putting it in the upper right. Third clip I'll put down in the lower left, and the last one I'll put down in the lower right. All right, so pretty straightforward and quick to do this. You don't have to use the transform tool to make these adjustments. It'll just do it for you. And then if we want to go and enable some of these additional features here, maybe we want to scale down some of these clips, we could do that using our scale adjustment. So this is a common thing I've seen on many streams, is you'll maybe shrink all these down to about 90% just to give some space in between each clip, because when they're all right up against each other, it can look a little odd or a little cramped on the screen. So we could do that there. All of this, the black space that you're seeing, this is all empty. There's actually nothing there. So you can put a clip in the background below all these clips if you wanted to. So maybe I take one of my other donut shots here and put it down below. And I'll remove the split screen effect from that one. And now you can see how that pink donut is in the background there. You can certainly put a background clip in there if you want. And then if we want, let's go ahead and put an outline on all of these. We can make the outline a little bit thicker and With these colors, you can click on the color well. You can hit the little arrow on the left side to expand this and make adjustments to the color. Or you can hit this little drop down arrow here and quickly select a different color if you want to. One thing about this color well, when you click on it, this is the default Mac OS color picker that's available in all of your different apps. At the top, you can switch between different views to select different colors. Or at the bottom here, you can hit this little eyedropper and actually go and click on any color you want. So if we want the borders to match a color in each donut, we can go and click on one of the shades there, and now you can see it is matching the frosting on the top of that donut. And so I like that, looks pretty good. We'll go on to the next one. Can do the same thing. I'll check the box. We'll make it the same 40 for the width. I'll click on my color picker and we'll choose, let's choose that blue purple color that's on the donut there. We'll go down to our third clip here, do the same thing, check off our outline, make it 40. And now we can select another color. I think should we do like the turquoise greenish color there. Bottom here, I have a little slider. You can increase the brightness if you want to. And then we'll grab the last one here. Turn on my outline. Again, change the size to 40. Click on the color well to activate the color well. And then I can click on the eyedropper. And now I can select a color in here. And if you want to, you can adjust the color using the view that's at the top of this color picker. If you want to change the tab, switch over to a different view of the color picker here. And some of these have drop-down menus to let you go even further into the various views. So a lot of options in this little color picker. Okay, cool. So now I have the outlines around all of them. And if I want to add a text label, I can do that as well. And we would type in what we want for the text label here. Do this kind of quickly and just add some generic labels. Donut 3, and then this is our fourth donut. And now we have little labels at the bottom of each of those. If the label is a little hard to see, you can literally go and click on your color well to change the color or adjust the size. Maybe the size a little bit small for all of these, so I'll go about 280, we'll say, on each of these labels. And this is, might have mentioned it earlier, but this is my streaming environment, and this is the first time I've installed this template onto this environment. Everything seems to be working, so that's a good sign. If I want to, we can go and enable our build in and build out for each of these clips. And you can see the way that this does it, it shrinks it down into the corner, and then the title fades in, and it goes back out at the end there. All right, so that's the split screen version 1.3 update and some of the things that have been added. Please leave a comment with what you think about this one, and if you have any questions with it, you can always shoot us an email as well. Our address is finalcutprohelp@me.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.